high school girls in trouble.
But not tonight. I have actor David Zucker with me tonight. How are you, sir?
Well, I'm not used to being introduced as actor, but I try not to appear in my movies now because you're taking work away from actual actors. So I don't like to do that. Just the way, Seth MacFarlane did the same thing. He took actual work away from actual, comedy filmmakers. So we'll get into that later.
That's going to come up definitely.
Yeah.
Sorry. Also, producer, writer, director, and etc. on the list of many credits you have, of course.
Of course, yeah.
But one thing, I do know a little German, which, of course, Zucker means sugar, of course, as I found out.
And he's sitting over there. That's actually one of my favorite stupid jokes that we've done.
That's all right. I know a little German. He's sitting over there.
Novelist, is it, or writer for books? I don't know.
It's not a novel. I've written 2 books, and one of them, the most recent one, is Surely You Can't Be Serious: The True Story of Airplane.
Yeah,
and it's quite a good book, if I do say myself. And
I'm looking forward to it.
And if you like Airplane, and it's just an interesting story, anyways. Just it's kind of also, if I do say myself, it's kind of inspiring, not because we're so especially great, but because I think we were so almost ordinary, and people could say, well, gee, maybe I could do this if these guys did this. So that's kind of why I like the book.
Nice. So yes, there is a little film he's done called Airplane, and then he also written another book about before the invention of smiling.
Yeah, that's about my family history, and I'm really interested in history, in addition to filmmaking and whatever else I'm interested in. But I used to listen to my grandmother tell her stories about it. She grew up in Hungary in 1890 or something, and she had to escape over the border, and it seemed like there's some adventure. There's not enough adventure in the Zucker family. So
Right.
so I decided to write down and have a transcript made of everything she said, and then I made it into a book. So
Lovely.
it's fun.
It's a nice little story there. So talking of family, there's many a Zucker name appears in film credits of your films, isn't there?
Yes, mainly my mom, who she was an actress actually, and did high school plays, college plays, and she really was an actress. So we gave her all these parts, starting with actually Kentucky Fried Movie. She actually had a line in Kentucky Fried Movie. She was on the jury of the courtroom scene, and then in Airplane, she was the lady applying makeup and during turbulence and smearing it on her face. Yeah, and she was the judge in Ruthless People, and she played a scene with Whoopi Goldberg and Patrick Swayze in Ghost, and that was a pretty good thing. She also had a great part in Naked Gun 1 as Ricardo Montalban's secretary.
Click.
And she said, I must kill Pap Schmear. So
I must kill Pap Schmear.
Will that be with cream and sugar, sir?
Because that scene with being a parody of Charles Bronson's Telephone, is it?
Telephone, yeah. So we took a couple of movies that we adapted for that. Also, there was a James or Robert Mitchum, one of the Mitchums, Robert Mitchum, called Farewell, My Lovely, and we used scenes from that. And there was some elements of James Bond where James Bond would always romance the assistant, the top assistant to the bad guy. And so that's what we did with Priscilla Presley.
Nice. So yes, Robert Garvey sends his love. I messaged him because I watched one of your films with him doing the birdie song. So I thought,
oh yeah, I just happened to rewatch that some months ago. An American Carol.
yes,
I love that movie. Of course it totally tanked, but I always like to say I never had any flops. I just had cult classics. And this was one of them. Yeah.
Now people claim that you're Wisconsin's most successful filmmaker.
Yeah, I don't think it's a large field, to
just Orson Welles and Zack Snyder
at the top of the list of. But but actually, I think Orson Welles was from Wisconsin.
Yes,
and he's he's a genius, but actually he only had one or two really good movies. So
yeah, he didn't do anything Airplane.
So I'll claim that top spot. I don't know who else.
Zack Snyder, I saw. Gene Wilder, but yeah.
Gene Wilder, very talented. Yeah, no, it's not a bad field really to be on top of. Yes,
peering down at these minions.
Peering down at all these other people.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people coming in saying
Frederick
hello.
March. There was an actor named Frederick March.
Oh yes,
and he was from Wisconsin and attended the University of Wisconsin, and so there were a bunch of people.
Yeah, it's a lovely place to be born, I guess.
It is. 6 months of the year, it's really, really lovely, and but the rest of the time, it's quite cold and snowy or rainy. But I didn't leave because of the weather to seek better weather. We needed to get to a bigger market,
right?
And so I remember this is in 1971. We had a choice between either New York or LA, and
right.
just thought it would be more comfortable to starve in warmer weather.
Always thinking.
So we went to LA, and it turned out to be a good decision for us.
It did. It was a very good decision, but yeah. So let's see. So you've also done a master crash class on how to make a parody movie at masterclash.com.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this because, we were actually inspired by Seth MacFarlane, who, thought it was easy. And, he made the rather dreadful Naked Gun 4. And so I'm thinking, oh my God, all I've seen is the trailer. I haven't seen the movie. So the movie may well be great, but I just saw it just from the trailer. I thought, they violated, probably 4 or 5 of our 15 rules. But because we evolved about 15 rules. Oh, Jim Abrams and my brother Jerry and I had these rules from the time we did our live show on Pico Boulevard in West LA called Kentucky Fried Theater. And we started to think about what we were doing. It wasn't just anything goes and throw a bunch of stuff against the wall and see what sticks.
Right.
There is a discipline to it, if I can be serious for a half a minute.
Okay. Because how is your writing, directing process with 3 of you? Is it a team or is it one at a time does one thing? And
we would all, it helped to be in a writer's room of, 3 people. And
right.
What we would do is watch a serious movie. Like, we would watch a James Bond movie. We'd watch, any film noir movie. We watch 0 Hour for Airplane. And then we would make a transcript of the actual scene. And then we would think of jokes and Jim would type. But we would all, just throw out jokes. We get an instant reaction.
Right.
But I can't remember who thought of what. It's the other thing we bring out in the book. It's, it was helpful and actually essential in a successful collaboration to not claim credit for any one joke. So in fact, we didn't. And what happened is that we would forget who wrote. I mean, I would love to say, yeah, I wrote Don't Call Me Shirley or whatever the famous jokes are. But the truth is I can't remember. We just don't remember who wrote what. And it was it was a great collaboration. And we missed Jim
Sure. Bless him.
a lot. He just died, I don't know, 6 months
Yeah.
ago.
Unfortunately, yeah, bless. A sad loss, but yeah. So, was the writing room just a dark room full of coffee, or were there hookers and cocaine in a party
No,
atmosphere?
well, seriously, there were no drugs at all. We didn't, because you find if we were to write on drugs, we'd look at the stuff the next morning and say, "What the hell were we thinking?" It's just this doesn't. I think drugs are for and I don't even do anything anymore. But in those days, we just weed was on weekends for recreation, but not a part of work at all. We wouldn't drink alcohol either. Uh,
Okay.
Nothing. It was just we would just like you said, it's coffee. It was coffee. That was our drug.
Coffee and late nights.
Coffee. No, it wasn't. No,
No?
here you go again.
There we
It
go.
was no. It was. We were only good from like 9 to 12 or 1.
Oh, right.
We were best in the morning, and we'd meet at 9. We'd have coffee, actually talk about politics and the news of the day, and then we'd start writing around 10, and we go from 10 to 1, and then we were probably no good in the afternoon, certainly not at night.
Right.
And that was our writing process.
Right. Was it the same from theater or high school when you wrote stuff? Same process, all three of you together?
We knew each other in high school. Of course, my brother and I did, but
Right.
we weren't good friends with Jim because he was 4 years older than I was.
Okay.
So in high school, that's a big difference. But the Abrams family and the Zucker family were just so close. Our fathers were business partners in a real estate firm called Abrahams and Zucker Real Estate, and our mothers were really close friends. Our sisters were college roommates. And so the Abrams family would come over for dinner, and this would be like in late high school, maybe early college, and they'd have dinner. And Jim and Jerry and I would end up in our rec room in the basement playing ping pong. And just when we bonded, there was something there, and because we just had we just totally had the same sense of humor. And so when it came time to start the theater, Jim was the first one we called.
Cool. Do you remember the make and model of the camera you used for your first films that you made?
Well, the first films that we made, Jerry and I made Super 8 film movies in college. And it was just a Super 8 film camera.
Okay.
And which I borrowed from my dad. And, it had 3 minutes at a time. But, we did make films. And one of them, I showed it to my study section. And it starred Jerry, and he was running around the campus at University of Wisconsin trying to find a place to pee and being chased by a guy with his pants down around his ankles. And it was silly and was definitely not what they were doing at the time, which was in my film class. It was all these esoteric studies in sound and light and shadow. And so I showed it to my study section, and they just laughed. It was a surprise. And so the TA, the teaching assistant, just said, "You got to enter that in the film festival." And of course, I didn't, or I wouldn't have. But a week later, he says, "I showed it to the professor, and he wants to show it to the entire 600 student lecture in 2 weeks." So we did, and that was our first film audience that we ever played anything for. And so Jerry, it was important because Jerry and I said, "Hey, okay, we could do this."
That's cool. Let's have a look. So yeah, I was going to say about Top Secret. You just almost discussed it before the start, where you filmed all of it in the UK.
Yes, all of it was in the UK. We had a great time. I lived in South Kensington, in Onslow Gardens. And I had a wonderful flat, and we had parties a lot, drinks parties they call them there. And in fact, we had one. We organized this whole party in honor of Omar Sharif. He was the guest of honor. And we knew that he was such a connoisseur of wine and food that we went all out for this. Well, comes the night of the party, and we're starting, and we're waiting, and where's Omar? And he never showed up. and it was, and I guess he's from another culture. He's Egyptian, and evidently it's not polite to turn down an invitation, but you don't necessarily have to show up. So,
yeah, if only Google had been around before to tell you that.
Right? Yeah, we could have figured it out. But we had a great party, but the guest of honor wasn't there.
Yes, didn't forgot his fake doggy poo, but yeah,
That's right. That was. Oh yeah, no, he was great to work with, and you have to remember these guys like Omar or Robert Stack, Peter Graves. They don't get a lot of comedies, and they're actors. They like to act.
yes.
So, and Peter Graves, although he was disgusted with the script when he first read it, he said, "Well, maybe it's time to stretch it, and I can stretch it." He also he passed on the script, but Howard Koch, our executive producer, who was he's another old guy, 62 at the time, and he said, "Peter, you should come and meet the boys." And so I think he expected some drug crazed maniacs, and so we were fairly preppy guys from Wisconsin. And so he figured, okay, I could do a lot worse than try this.
Yes, getting that cleavage in his face while he's trapped in a crush car.
That's not it. Let me try. Here it is.
I don't remember that, but
did you film in Devon because of the skeet surfing at the beginning there?
Yes.
Down on the beach.
We shot it in Devon, and we had a wonderful 2 days of shooting. We did skeet surfing, and we also did young Hillary in the Blue Lagoons. That sequence on the beach. And it was great. And after 2 days of shooting, we had a wonderful barbecue on the beach, and it was just some just great memories I have.
Yeah, I guess. What time of year did you film it? Do you remember? Was it cold?
No,
wet?
it was summer. It was summer when we filmed it.
Yeah,
because when we got to London, I think it was around March. And we started pre-production,
right,
and casting, and they have wonderful actors there. Jim, the guy who was the butler on Downton Abbey.
Oh yeah, oh
Jim
of course,
Carter.
yes,
Jim
yes.
Carter. Harry Ditson was great, and we have seen Jim Carter since then because he was in town for an Emmy show. He was nominated, and so we all had lunch. And I wonder if I think we took a picture.
Ah, nice. Let's do lunch, as you say in LA, isn't it?
Let's do lunch, yeah, I know.
Don't always mean it.
Do they also say let's do a meeting? No, or something. No, it's do lunch, and I don't know. There's some other jargon. I stay out
Producer
of it.
jargons.
My friends are still mainly the people I grew up with in Wisconsin. And so we get together every Sunday and watch the Green Bay Packer games in my den. And so, but I haven't really hung out at the Hollywood parties, which probably didn't do me any good because, I may have, if I had been more in with this Hollywood group, I may have ended up being able to do Naked Gun 4, but being an outsider,
Yeah, the days of schmoozing are over. No,
it's not worth it. I didn't like any of them. It wasn't worth it. Yeah,
makes sense. So yeah, also producer on films like A Walk in the Clouds and Phone Booth, which
right.
did very well.
Yeah, those are things that were I was partnered with this producer named Gil Netter, and we had an office. And this is after Zucker Brothers and after ZAZ. And Gil would bring in these amazing scripts, and we would work on them, and take the writer through a couple of more drafts. And I was producing. I don't like to be on the set when I don't like to produce because it's boring. If I'm directing, the time goes so fast. It's like there's never enough time. I love directing. It's just you just immersed in it. But producing, it's when can I leave? And so but though I was on the set once during Phone Booth, and then once during I was at the at the press junket for Walk in the Clouds.
Okay. Because that was a big summer hit. That Walk in the Clouds. I noticed it was in like the top 10 for week.
No, it was a great movie. Alfonso Arau did a great job, and it had the actors were great, and Keanu Reeves was amazing. It's so polite. He kept calling me Mr. Zucker. I'm looking around for my dad. Yeah,
I was gonna say, where's my dad?
Yeah, where's my dad? But that's
Is he here? Best behavior. But yeah, I think Top Secret was the first film I saw of yours on rental back in the day, and I love the skeet surfing song. Also, because I thought it was the real Beach Boys doing the soundtrack. But
yeah, I've always been a real Beach Boys fan. So yeah.
Oh yeah, it definitely sounds just like one of theirs. And then I think the scene I remember most is the girl popping up from the sand, and then two big holes in the sand.
Yeah, that's another one of my boob jokes. Yeah, just.
Yes, because there's quite a few of those in Kentucky Fried Movie.
Yeah, Kentucky Fried Movie. Yeah, the whole thing. And at the time, my grandmother was still alive and lucid, and my aunt Maury, who were, they're all in their 80s, and they were very excited. The boys, did a movie. And they had no idea it was a porn movie. But so we came up with an idea. We would edit a video and, cut out all the bad parts. And so we showed it to them. And my grandmother's sitting. I didn't see it. We were in LA. So my mom shows it to my grandmother. And maybe my dad was there, and a character says shit, and my grandmother looks over and says, just like that. And so, but they didn't even see so anyways, then 2 weeks later, we find out they went to a theater to see it.
Oh,
God. And this is, Catholic high school girls in trouble, and the shower scene, and oh my God. So, because they went to see it because they wanted to see our names on the screen in a movie screen.
Okay.
Oh, God. Anyways, it should have been a lesson to us. My dad said, you just let them see it. But my mom and my sister and my brother and I were all, we're gonna try to outsmart everyone.
Because yeah. So let's have a look. So, like some of your cult classic films, which didn't make much in the cinema, did they make a lot on VHS rentals and physical media? I thought so, yeah. Back in the day.
Top Secret has done very well on VHS, DVD, streaming, everything. It's still, and so does Basketball is another one that's really so. And right now, Basketball and Top Secret, and now it's like they're equal to Scary Movie 3 and Airplane and Naked Gun and the whole thing. So people don't even know.
I just want to tell you both good luck. We're all counting on you.
I'll check my physical media collection right now. So,
what is that?
All your films on VHS.
Oh, the films on VHS. That's right. Yeah.
So Because I think,
In fact,
yeah.
I'm trying to get my electrician, my IT guy, to buy me a VHS player because I don't have one.
Well, yeah. So
In case
that's my other
anybody,
question. Do you have a physical media collection of any films, even your own?
I do. I have really a complete collection. There, the DVDs.
Okay.
I have every film. The VHS is just there's no use in having those, and they take up too much room.
They are big and heavy and 4x3 and mono
Yeah,
and
and the Motion Picture Academy used to mail all the movies to us. Each studio, I should say, would mail a dozen movies to us every year in VHS in big boxes.
yeah, that's going to cost a bit.
And then they did DVDs. Now they don't even send DVDs. They just stream them. And so
Yeah. With the big
I get
watermarks,
every
I guess.
movie every year on streaming.
Save your fortune in subscriptions, I guess.
Right. And so I'm very, very careful never to criticize the Academy because, I want to get the free movies every year.
Do you know the film Flying High that you directed?
Yes, that was because Universal didn't want us to use the title Airplane. And so it was a compromise where everywhere outside the US and Canada would be it would be called Flying High. And of course, in France, in Germany, they had other titles. Like I think in Germany it was The Incredible Flight of the Crazy Airplane. And in France it was Is There a Pilot in the Plane? Something like that.
Yeah, because I was in Australia once and the late night movie came on and it was Flying High and I thought, I recognize this opening titles. And I thought,
Right, and it's Flying High. So that's just that never happened again. It was always one title all over the world, no matter how good or bad the movie was.
Because it doesn't really make sense because I don't think they're flying high at any point. There's no, but
yeah, it was.
we'll leave
It
them
was.
at
It was actually that Flying High is a dumber title than Airplane.
Yeah,
So maybe it's fitting.
yeah.
So,
I guess because was it Airport 79 was, I think, delayed when it came out in the rest of the world to Airport 80. The Concorde, it was called here. And then I think some people might have been confused.
yes, but now that you mentioned that, there was an airport. Well, they did the first two, and then the third one was the third one Concorde.
I think the fourth one's Concorde. I think.
Okay, the third one was just
7.
Yeah, something, and what happened is it had the misfortune to come out after Airplane, so they were caught with this kind of seriously ludicrous airplane in trouble movie that and audiences were laughing at it in the theaters. So they changed the campaign. Universal changed the campaign to see it for the drama, see it for the laughs. Which is
it's Airport. Yeah, the Concorde is crazy. It's the pilot firing a flare out the window to it's knock in twice. And a barrel roll and
because those movies are ridiculous anyways, and that's kind of what we were saying in Airplane, that movies are stupid, and we're trying to make a movie more stupid than Airport 1 and 2. So
Franz has mentioned, I think Franz Sanchez, you're watching Naked Gun 2.5 today. He had electric cars in it. Now, are you still an advocate for electric cars as you were back
yes
then?
I drive a Chevrolet Volt. And I am an environmentalist, but I'm not a global warming environmentalist. I've been on the board of, there's a local organization here, a tree planting organization called Tree People.
Yes.
And I'm the longest continuously serving board member. Even the founder's father, the founder Andy Lipkiss, his father had been the longest serving board member, but he died, so I was glad to take over at that point.
Yeah,
with the record.
because I see a lot of trees behind you outside the window. So yes,
That's right. I surround this house. If you drive down my street, it's like, which house has the Tree People board member on it? So no, I keep planting trees.
well, yes, why not?
Yeah.
Always useful. When you were in Britain for filming Top Secret, did you watch any British television or any TV comedies of the 80s at that point?
I don't remember watching anything at the time. We were pretty busy. I don't remember
I guess
having the time to, but
Faulty
I
Towers.
always loved Monty Python.
Right.
And there's all this stuff that I get now on my Instagram, these sketches done by Brits, and they're so funny. I mean, and then I send them to, my co-writers, Pat Proft and Mike McManus, and we always kind of say those Brits. I mean, they're funny. Yeah, funny stuff.
Yeah.
I love it.
Cool. Because that segues me into modern comedy. Is it? There's no comedy films anymore. Is that because of social media and memes and TikTok?
No, it's because nobody's doing funny movies, and I have been banned from doing it because I've aged out. Hollywood judges me to be too old. The studios don't want to have anybody over 50 doing the movies, and so they don't care what I know or if I have talent or anything. It's just I aged out. So that's so I just kind of found myself on the outside and we wrote a script for Naked Gun 4.
Right.
And it's called Naked Gun 4 and Nordberg Did It. And then we retitled it Naked Impossible because it wasn't even set. Our Naked Gun was not even set in a LA cop station. We've done that. It's old stuff. Trying to replace Leslie Nielsen, trying to do Naked Gun again is just it's a very uncreative way of going about it. But Paramount was bent on hiring young, and they want young guys, even though they don't know what they're doing. And Seth MacFarlane is a young guy. His age may still have a 4 in it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they threw our script away. We still own it. We retitled it Counterintelligence, spelled with one L and a J, and it would still work. It's a great father-son story, and it was going to be Leslie Nielsen's son, which would have been a young actor, 30-something actor, and in a Mission Impossible, James Bond type international spy thriller spoof, which hasn't been done in our style. Mike Myers did Austin Powers, but that's a completely different style, and he was very successful with that. So, but now I've written a wonderful script, which is called Star of Malta, which is a film noir comedy. And I wrote that with Pat Proft and Mike McManus again, and that's a lower budget. So we're actually raising money for that. We should be in pre-production soon, and we're casting it now. So that I hope to get back on the horse doing that.
Is it harder to cast a young comedian or a young straight man even these days than it was in the 80s? No,
I mean this movie doesn't need a comic. We don't need a Jim Carrey or a Robin Williams, of 30 years ago. We just need an actor to do this, and so that's all we need. I mean, for counterintelligence. For Star of Malta, there's this comic actor named Andy Samberg who was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And I think he would be ideal, even though he's a comedy actor, he would still be ideal for this for Star of Malta.
Cool. So is that being financed privately, or is it going to be?
Yes, Star of Malta is being financed privately.
Right.
And it's like a $12 million budget. We have 6 raised, and now we're just casting it, and so we're pretty sure we can raise the other 6. So I don't have the budget of Seth MacFarlane. Now, do I sound too bitter? Maybe I should pull this back a little bit.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So, anyways, when Jim died, I said, I gave a lot of interviews, and I said, Jerry and I were there the night before he died, and
cool.
we said goodbye. And he was unconscious, but we told him we loved him, and when we consoled ourselves at least by saying at least he doesn't have to see Naked Gun 4. So
There we go. Thank heavens for small mercies.
I can't dump on this enough, I think. So I'll try to pull it back, but
Okay. Yeah. Well, yes. There's been. Well, I was going to say in was it 1980? I looked up. There was about at least 10 comedies out in that big comedies: Caddyshack, Blues Brothers, 9 to 5, Stir Crazy, and Private Benjamin. Some film called Airplane, Used Cars. But then in was it 1988 when you did the Naked Gun? You had probably about 20 or 30.
Oh, he froze. Now we're both
frozen.
Okay, I'm on.
I was doing the old one.
You were off for a while, but I'm the important one anyway.
You're the important one, yeah. As long as people can see you, that's the important thing. Yeah, I was doing the famous freeze, obviously.
Oh, that's good. Like that, like we did in. I think he really is frozen.
It was completely planned.
He's either really frozen or he's doing a wonderful job of it. But this is like these bad freeze frame endings in Police Squad that we used to do. Anyway, I don't know how much of that stuck, but yeah.
I got a cat.
But there's no movie comedy. I'm talking about there's no movie comedy out because nobody knows how to do it. However, there's great comedy on TV. There's South Park. Those guys are brilliant and original. There's another TV show called Impractical Jokers. Brilliant guys. They're original, and so these are talented humans who don't need to copy other people's work. So I give them all credit.
Yeah, nothing to do with you being in an episode of Impractical Jokers, is it?
No, well, they are friends of mine. Yeah,
okay.
So I met them after their first year.
Nice.
Series, and we met at a film festival in Nashville. I didn't know who they were, but when we left the restaurant, they just came in to say hi. My brother and I were having breakfast. There was a crowd of people outside. I didn't know who the hell are these guys. And so one of them, Brian, I forgot his what's. Anyways, yeah. I'm elderly, so I forget.
It's allowed.
Yeah. Anyways, he gave me the DVD of their first season, and I went home, and of course I didn't watch it until a month later, and I watch it with my son. And I could only watch 20 minutes of it because I'm choking. I kid you not. And so I had to turn it off. And since I couldn't watch it anymore, I did email them how much I loved it. And then we became friends. And they have a cruise every year in January or February. And so they've invited me on this cruise, and I show one of the movies. And I do a Q&A with the guys.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it's been really fun. So and when Murr, it's Brian Quinn is the one I was trying to remember his last name, but James Murray has kind of become more closer to me, and because he gets to LA a lot, and we always go out to dinner when he comes to LA. So, but I still regard them as the funniest thing on TV.
I just want to tell you both good luck. We're all counting on you.
Practical Jokers, Impractical Jokers, and South Park have succeeded for so many years because they don't care who they offend.
Right. I mean, I think more South Park is a lot more out there in not caring who they offend. I mean, that's their business. That's what they do. Now, the Impractical Jokers are just, amazingly silly and another thing that's neat to watch is what good friends they are.
Mm.
Who knows if that got in?
Yeah, that got
I
in.
was just saying what good friends they are, and
Mm.
I have a great picture of me with all the Jokers,
Oh, lovely.
and maybe I can send it to you if we have.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So speaking of the South Park, so basketball was a real game that you invented as friends.
Yes, I invented it on way. We tip horse, and we just with one guy so we just invented this game, and other friends wanted to play, and more people kept coming into it, and we'd have regular games on Wednesday nights, and then tournaments on weekends, and so many people. There were by the end there were 8 teams of 3 guys on a team,
Okay.
and there were so many people who came to see our championship game, Super Bowl, that the police blocked off the street. And it was pretty much like it was in basketball, and all these people are, and we would present the trophy, which was the Denslow Cup. Denslow was the street that I lived on,
Ah.
and we would present that at the Creative Artists Agency with the head of the agency presenting the trophy. It was unbelievable. Yeah. And I would always give a speech to the assembled agents. Yeah.
So yeah, never went pro, but never mind.
No, it never. But this was our fantasy that if it went pro. But now there's a guy, Ryan Reynolds' company, wants to do a TV series based on basketball where we'd actually have 10 teams representing cities, and we play it for real games, real prize money, and of course, it'll be supposedly it'll be funny because the defense is trash talking.
Yes. So that should get past the censors. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it should be, but it's a slow process. So
Sure.
I'm gradually. I'm producing a movie to be shot in Germany,
Okay.
written by a German writer and directed by a German director. So, and I'm kind of the godfathering the script.
Nice.
So that's
So
happening.
yeah, I did think about what a wasted opportunity. You had Victoria Silvstedt, Playmate of the Year in basketball, but we didn't see the goods.
Victoria Silvstedt, Playmate of the Year. Hello, Victoria Silvstedt, Playmate of the Year.
But never mind.
I know. Oh, too late. We discover the contract. She doesn't get to display the goods. I don't have too many career regrets, but that's one of them. But we have some stills. I'll send you those too.
Okay. Oh, lovely. Yes. Are they about 3 pages long?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the 2 guys from South Park they were working on South Park at night as well as filming.
Yeah, they were working on South, and they did the movie because they didn't know that South Park would ever catch on. So this was they said, well, at least we can do this movie. And I think they felt it was they're a heavy metal band doing a country song, But we had a wonderful time on the set. I thought those guys were so good as actors. Although they don't really want to be actors. Although Trey and Matt are doing a new movie. I forgot what it's called, but they showed me 10 minutes of it. It's great, and because I want them to be involved in basketball if we do it.
Yeah, of course, yes.
And they were all in. They want to do it. So
lovely.
And they love basketball mainly because their good buddy Bill Hader convinced them, this is a great movie, basketball. I think they needed to be told that,
Yeah, I love it.
being a heavy metal band. But
Okay.
it's my son's favorite movie, and he's a young 20 something. So
Yeah, I saw it when it came out in Britain in the cinema. So yeah,
yeah.
I got it in my collection. So yeah. I forget about the lovely Jenny McCarthy as well.
I know, she was great, wonderful to work with.
Yasmin Bleeth.
Also great to work with, and I was surprised. She had been on Baywatch, and not a movie star really. And maybe she had been on movies, but I just one day after a couple of takes, I just kind of blurted out, you're a really good actress. And I think I'm not sure how she took that. I honestly meant it because I was surprised. She was so good in that.
Yeah, she's holding her own against those two guys.
Yeah. And she hit the exact right note. You know who else was great is Priscilla Presley and Anna Faris. Were just 100%. I didn't have to direct them. I didn't have to do much to direct those three at all because they just had it.
Yeah, hit your marks and I'll be happy.
Right. They just had it naturally. I never had to say tone it down or I need you to be this way. I mean, in the first table read of Naked Gun, Priscilla was very concerned and uncomfortable. She said, I don't know how to be funny. And I said, don't worry, you don't have to be funny. I just want the actress that was in Dallas. And that's what she had done before then. And so she was very relieved to find out that she didn't have to be funny. And in fact, one of the directions that I give most to actors is just let the lines do the work. Don't put any spin on it. And and it was harder when we directed Airplane because that had never been done before. And so Stack got it completely. He knew we were making fun of Elliot Ness. And but Lloyd Bridges, he thought he was in a comedy.
He's coming in too fast. Watch your speed. He's coming right at us.
And we kept saying, Lloyd, forget you're in a comedy. This is just play this straight. So he did, but he was better in Hot Shots when Jim directed him.
I point an ambassador. The first thing I know, he leaves the country. I always love that line.
Was that from Hot Shots?
That's from Hot Shots, yeah, okay. When he's president. Hot Shots 2, maybe.
Hot Shots 2. There were so many great lines in that. And I'm doing the course Master Crash, which people can find on mastercrash.com. And I'm going to play a lot of clips from Hot Shots because I just don't remember it as well. But there's so many funny gags in it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like Hot Shots and your films, of course, they need multiple rewatches because there's like stuff in the background. I think you mentioned before when the plane comes through the window in an airplane, a woman checks the baby in the air.
Yeah. And nobody sees that until
I've never seen it until you mentioned it in another interview.
Right, and people then see it, and there's these little details. Like we grew up on Mad Magazine, and Mad Magazine had all these subtle things in the background. So we were clued into background humor, back in the '60s.
Yeah, I got my friend Matt here. You had a film with Peter Cushing, but yeah, what was he like? Did he get the jokes? Oh, get it. How he's supposed to act?
Well, we didn't know if he did get the joke or if he didn't. I mean, he was a fun guy to work with. It's so long ago, but again, we were asking him to act, not and not be funny. So it was. I don't think it was a hard thing for him, except that
The backwards
that
scene.
scene was difficult. We rehearsed for an entire day, and then we shot it for an entire day because it had to be done in one take and backwards. So that's why Top Secret is so it's pretty amazing.
Yes. Yeah, the underwater fight and everything. It's just
it's
marvelous.
And it's one of the things that I bring out in my comedy course that I'm teaching is that a lot of Top Secret was what I call bullfighting. And, look at this, Olay, look at this. And, we didn't pay attention to having the lead character have a problem in the first act. So
right.
I get into that, and they don't teach it in film schools. And, Rat Race is a very funny movie. My brother did that.
Yes.
But had the same problem. It needed to have that point at the end of the second act where the characters bond together or learn something or some character change. And then I thought they should have all bonded together to oppose John Cleese. But, you can't do those things again now. Yeah.
Well, maybe with AI you can. So there you go.
That's true. Maybe, Jim Abrams and I would talk about, we were so close to having something that we could have done with Val Kilmer in Top Secret. Maybe we could do it with AI. You could probably do something and have, with the permission of his family. And then we could release the movie again and it would work.
Yeah, because he was it Straight Out of Juilliard when he did that film?
Yeah, he was this Juilliard trained actor. And, and he was looking for a character. And we actually thought he was somewhat moody on the set. And later I would talk with Jim Abrams about this. And we said, maybe it wasn't entirely Val's fault. It could have been our fault a little bit because he was this trained actor. And we didn't give him a character. So, oh God, we learned the lessons the hard way.
Yeah, because that's how I just was it Top Secret and Real Genius where he's doing comedy.
Yeah,
he's great in those. And
yeah,
then, of course,
he's great.
You went on to do a lot more serious stuff.
Yeah, and then in American Carol, we did have a character which had a complete character change. So that movie really worked. So, although it was another cult classic. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So, do you think all this PC stuff did it start in the early 90s?
I guess so. But people
I
became
seem to remember
obsessed, and it's anti-humor if you can't. And we often get asked when we do a Q&A after showing Airplane, and somebody from the audience says, "Could you do Airplane today?" And I always say, "Of course we can, just without the jokes." and so, but the thing is that we show it today. Today's audiences, they laugh at everything. Everything gets a laugh, just like it did, years and years ago. But it's the studio boardrooms, the studio executives who would say, "Oh, you have subtitles with these black guys speaking jive that white people can't understand. That's too, God, they're just these frightened idiots." People who greenlit Naked Gun 4. God.
Keep it. Yeah. Everything's through a filter.
There I am being bitter again. I'm sorry.
Yes. Oh, no.
I'll try not to.
We're coming up to the hour, so.
Okay, right. Yeah, you just have to cut me off in mid-rant.
Well, I was thinking if you did a shot-for-shot remake of a Kentucky Fried Movie, but with modern cameras and everything, how do you think that would be a hit?
No.
People are just so starved for a comedy.
No, I mean, Kentucky Fried Theater, some of it's still funny. What I've wanted to do is actually do a recut of Kentucky Fried Movie.
Right.
And, make it a half hour, 40 minutes long. And then it would be funny from start to finish. Because, Jerry and Jim and I already recut Airplane, Flying High, to, we did a director's cut. And people are all excited. Oh, we want to see the director's cut, but it's just completely misleading because it's actually 3 minutes shorter. We cut stuff out of it. We want to keep trimming it. We don't want to stay too long.
Yeah. So I was thinking of like the Daredevil scene in the Kentucky Fried Movie.
Hey, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, no, but that would still be funny. So okay, yeah, but Mel Brooks did a lot worse than that. Well, not funnier than that, but Mel Brooks in Blazing Saddles
Yes.
had the N word, every other sentence, and but I think that movie's a little dated. I'm not sure if it's still funny, but I think Kentucky Fried Movie would still be funny if I did this recut and we could, I could show that with everything and not, I want to. So much has to be trimmed.
Yeah. Yes. I forgot what I was saying now. Let's see where I got to. So yeah, because you mentioned comedy has to be made without fear. I think I should say without fear is the quote.
Yeah, did I say that?
Apparently, yes. I wrote it down with quotes.
Yeah, I guess maybe I said that, but I was just joking. No.
Okay.
No. I guess what I meant by that was, yeah, you can't think about who's going to react. I mean, when we did that, Danger Seekers bit in Kentucky Fried Movie, we weren't thinking about, maybe people will be offended. We just didn't think about it. We just, if it's funny, and part of being funny is part of what's funny is outrage, and if you do something outrageous, it'll get a laugh. I mean, in Scary Movie 3, we shot Anna Faris backing up her car, and her child was running behind it, and she hits the child, and he goes flying, and they saw the dailies came back, and everybody came to me and said, we can't show this. It's too gruesome. You're hitting this child. And I said, what do you mean? This is the only thing that's funny is if it's a child.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be one of the biggest laughs in the movie. And no, I'm not saying this just to say that I'm always right, but
Yeah.
You can't. To your point, you said, you can't have that fear. You can't have any fear. You have to be fearless.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because if you're thinking, if I say this and it upsets someone I don't know and never met, that let you see that section of it, then
right. I would do the same thing today, but it's just harder to get things past the studio executives.
Yeah. So as Kenneth says, is there hope for comedies in Hollywood nowadays? Because we had, was it Happy Gilmore 2, and of course some other film that came out this year.
They're doing Everybody 2, and who knows if they're doing Happy Gilmore very well. The original Happy Gilmore was okay, but Adam Sandler did better when he did Waterboy. That was tremendous. That was really, really good. And then they're doing Spaceballs 2.
Spaceballs 2, yes. Another belated sequel.
Another terrible idea. Why would they want to do that again? The original Spaceballs was just a copy of Airplane. And it was a bad copy of Airplane. I mean, Mel Brooks did wonderful movies, but that one, that was after he saw Airplane. He took us all out to lunch. He was the nicest guy in the world. He wanted to do a movie with us. Of course, the agents and the managers any of that on. The agents and the lawyers couldn't make a deal, but
Right.
Mel Brooks did want to make a movie with us. But I don't think our styles would mesh at all. And after that, we did Naked Gun ourselves. We didn't need Mel or anybody else or Woody Allen. We love Woody Allen too, but the styles aren't the same.
Yeah.
So we just, but what they're trying to do today is do more sequels and there's nothing original, but as I say, I have 2 original scripts. I've got Counterintelligence and Star of Malta, which would make wonderful, theatrical movie comedies. So,
Yeah.
and keep trying.
Yeah, obviously, yes. Please do, because we are starved of comedy these days. You can be found next on a unreleased director's cut screening of Airplane with star Robert Hayes in October.
That's right. We're doing.
Denver.
Does it say where it is? It's either
Denver,
in
Colorado.
Denver or Denver.
Yeah. Oh, there's
and
2 of them.
Seattle.
No, sorry, October in Seattle, November in Denver.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Right. So those are fun, and I think I sign books. I'm a famous author now,
I did know
and then yeah, and that's why I keep reminding people. And I go to a restaurant. I'm shameless. I hand out bookmarks, and I say, "Here, do you read books? Here, read this one. I'm a famous author." And they say, "Did you work on it?" And I said, "Yeah, I wrote and directed it." Now I'm down to handing out bookmarks in restaurants
and appearing.
I'm looking for work though, but so we're and Master Crash is going great. We're doing.
Yep.
We're editing more episodes. I think we have 4 of them out now.
Nice.
And there's going to be 15 in all. And then after that, I'm going to do the glossary of terms. So
there you go. Is it? I spelled it right.
That's
the main thing.
All stuff not to do. Yeah.
That's
I don't
a long
think you
list.
can teach anyone to be funny, but I think we could save people a lot of trouble by saying don't do this. I could have saved Paramount a lot of trouble. There I go again. Yeah.
The old Paramount.
Oh, God. Paramount. Yeah, but here's the thing. They're all fired. All these executives.
Yeah.
Because, a new company called Skydance came in.
Oh, of course, yes.
Yeah. And they're all fired. So.
Yeah. It's the studio system does perplex me about how they work.
This is why there's no good studio pictures, except Tom Cruise makes good movies, and there are a lot of people, like I guess Ryan Reynolds makes great movies, and there are people who just are making they're big budget, big franchises, but Hollywood is making good movies.
Yes.
I would go to see any Tom Cruise movie. Yeah.
Well, yes, because what was it? Top Gun Maverick. It was like given time to breathe. He could re-edit it for like a year and do all the special effects.
Is that what he did?
Yeah,
and
he delayed
that
it.
movie was so good, and also it was funny. And I'm just sitting there. I could not do. I mean, not even close to doing what they did. It's a different kind of comedy, but
yeah,
they did. It was adventure. It was some suspense. It was. And it was funny too. They did some great jokes. I mean, that scene with Val Kilmer.
Oh yeah,
was such a good touch on that.
All right. I'm out of questions, so I'm gonna let you go and enjoy the rest of your day, so I can get ready for bed. You have mentioned the Green Bay Packers a few times, and then drinking from your mug there. So go Packers, we'll say. And
yes, and they just, I don't know if this got to the UK, but in the last week they got this real star defensive player from the Dallas Cowboys, and now they're in the conversation to be in the Super Bowl. So we'll see what happens. And it's such a crapshoot, anyways. Trying to be the best of 35 teams or whatever it is.
Yeah. So I will, on your advice, bet my house on the Packers winning the Super Bowl and see what happens. So with that, Yvonne says bye-bye. And Josh says, thank you, gentlemen. And thank you, David, for your years of laughs. And Yvonne, I just fellow Packer.
Oh, you like the Packers also? Great. They're the best team. Because they're the only community-owned team in professional sports. Every
Right.
team has an owner, and this is owned by stockholders that who don't get any. You can't sell the stock. You just buy the stock to support the team. The Packers stadium is like a shrine. It's the oldest stadium in the league, and it's right out in the middle of nowhere, actually, in Green Bay. There's farmland and houses around it.
The Packers of
Incredible.
Green Bay. I seem to remember that joke from Coming to America. But yeah, he's been a fan since '96. That's very specific.
Oh, who was a fan since?
Yvonne.
Whoever. Okay,
Yes.
great.
Uh,
I've been a fan since like 1960.
oh,
You know, since Vince. You've heard of Vince Lombardi?
yes, I have.
He's the great coach of all time. Yeah.
Nice. So we'll just say, where is it? Thanks everyone in the chat. Great comments, an amazing job from me. And yeah, Mr. Zucker, you are a giant. Thank you from Matt. And then Ian saying he wants to say thanks for David for making the comedy films that I've rewatched more than any others. Thank you for the entertainment.
Okay, you're welcome. Help yourself. Yes.
And on that bombshell, we'll end it there, and I'll say thank you, David.
Okay,
And,
thank you. It's been fun. Thanks.
Oh, cool. That's the main thing. We have fun. That's what we want, isn't it?
we did have fun. Yeah. But look, anytime you can get me for an hour talking about myself, I'm good. Yeah. All right. Thanks.
There we go. All right. Take care, and then I'll see you next time, everyone. And I'll say goodbye for now and end it with this clip.
Okay.
Well, I'll give him another 20 minutes. But that's it.